I really like the Pango, the Tusk that you mentioned. I think it would be amazing for eHome. A mid Tusk here looks amazing. Whenever I see a Drow Ranger, Tusk is like the hero that I want to see. It doesn't matter in which position. Laning against the Drow is also great, but even have it on the mid lane to rotate towards is quite nice. But eHome are gonna go for a Disruptor. I'm kind of scared for their damage output now, because Riki, Disruptor, Death Prophet, they don't really kill that first hero that easily, but they still have their two picks to get something that is gonna be dealing with that one. Something like a Tiny comes to mind as a possibility.
Yeah, and this is starting to be kind of a delicate lineup, right? You can still see why eHome wants these picks, and well, there you go, points go to you, very nice. But the puzzle pieces, they fit, but you're going to have to be very sure that you put them together nicely. You can't just go running at Reaper with this lineup, with the Disruptor, Riki. Like, your lanes need to go well. You need to adhere very well to the timings of your cores for the support rotations to make sure, because you're not going to make anything happen on your own as a support here. You really need to lean into the team play.
So Reaper now, they know it's going to be a mid lane Tiny. They know it's going to be an off lane DP. They have the tool aspects, so they can definitely counter these. Anything you personally would like to see against the Tiny?
Versus the Tiny, I mean, you either want to slow him down in lane a lot, so make sure that you get a good mid matchup here, which, I don't know, depending on how sacrificial you feel, you can totally pick something like a Viper, but that sounds pretty pretty
like
so we do the DK. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a shoe-in, right? You get a good lane versus a Tiny. You're just two big guys bashing each other's heads in. You have the same matchup with Death Prophet that we saw before today, where you're the tower chipper, she is the tower taker in one go. But you will be buying a Blink Dagger. You'll be pushing out waves eventually with your Shard. You make a lot of use out of the map space that you create by taking those first towers.
I would like to see a mid lane Dragon Knight rather than the off lane Dragon Knight here, I have to say, just so that you are against the Tiny, as you mentioned. You can put Marcy 5, Marcy off lane, do whatever you want. Keep the lineup somewhat open, so the enemies don't really know what to ban, and they're banning out the Dawnbreaker, showing to me that they're not actually sure where these heroes are going to be going. And Dawnbreaker again could be off lane, could be position 5, then the Marcy and her could be interchangeable for sure. But I like the ban overall. I think it was a smart one. Having someone on the other side of the map being able to always join is a big plus. And of course, Reaper, get rid of the Slark. That would be an amazing pick for sure.
Yep, absolutely. And for that last ban, it's most likely going to be a Void, right? Or I don't know, maybe you want to take out Morphling. Yeah. I know, I keep on coming up with these drafts are like, man, if you could just, if Phantom Lancer would be a hero, that would be great right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, he is not. Dragon Knight, though, is a solid hero against the PL. I like him. Once you get level 12, once you get the Shard, the PL illusions are no longer an issue. Yeah. I think this is a clear Morphling ban. I just think it's so good for eHome.
Yep. That is an absolute shoe-in, and they have so much faith. Could be. Yeah, I was thinking about CK, but CK has the same kinds of problems as the PL with the TK, because the base damage reduction on the Breathe Fire is just so powerful. And then the Rubik as well. Like, a Rubik DK is actually really oppressive for any kind of like stats-based heroes, because the damage reduction is absolutely nasty between those two. You don't do anything. And it's not just like, oh, you don't do anything for 3 seconds. You don't do anything for 7.
So they banned out the Naga. This leaves us with the Morphling, Monkey King. You mentioned the Void. I personally am not a big fan here. It's solid, because these heroes do spam a lot of spells, but they go for the Spectre. Okay. We have been seeing more and more of Spectre. It never comes to mind to me, really, because the power of it, I haven't been so much convinced with it, especially now when you're up against the Viper. So that's not going to be a nice lane for MKS for sure.
No, it is not. And I mean, it could also be not a nice lane for Knight on mid either. like whichever lane this Viper goes to, because I was seeing this before, and I'm like, man, if you just pick a Viper here, nobody is going to be happy.
Yeah, though it is gonna be an off-lane Viper. I have to say I like this Reaper lineup. I think it's actually quite good. It is slow, but the damage of EHOME, they don't have the type of damage that is good against the Viper. That's just the case. And then he can stand his ground and not really get bursted down, which means that the other three can move around the map between the Drow and between the Viper quite nicely. So I'm liking the Reaper lineup. I'm gonna say this is gonna be their first win of the tournament.
Oh, well, you're being the positive one right now, huh? Yeah, fight can be pretty hard for a Spectre to work around, but I gotta say we have a Ricky in the game without that much defensive capability from Reaper. Like the Rubik needs to be in position every single time. It's a tiny with vision, with at least one support that's going to be a good target, as well as the Drow herself being just a really good target for the tiny. And then of course we always have the Haunt as well to provide vision of that Drow. I'm cool with going EHOME here. I do not see too many objections to them taking this one still.
Difference of opinion here, though. Yeah, I definitely do not take anything against you going for EHOME. They're coming in as the favorites. Their lineup is solid. Like there's no doubt about it. I just think that the early game of Reaper can't be good enough for them to finally get that first victory, get themselves on the board. Because if they lose this one, let's not kid ourselves. There's a good chance that they're gonna be eliminated. So it's not ideal.
It is do or die for them.
Definitely is gonna be that way. How would you feel if this was not a last pick Viper, but rather a last pick Necro?
Ooh, Necro. I mean, big respect for anybody who picks Necro, and you can really play like hold each other hand, pressures play with that, which is something that the Riki absolutely detests. But at the same time, I think your Spectre problems definitely grow bigger if you do that.
Okay, so EHOME do get their ward dewarded, so far so good. Good start for Reaper. Nice golden experience influx for them. They are gonna get their ward to half HP just so that they can deny it from one hit. If it does come to that though, currently Salad does not hold any of the sentries. LW on the other hand does. And EHOME, they are rallying here around the enemy ward to secure these runes, and it's probably not gonna be any kind of contest. The 2-for-2 will be the trade.
Easy as pie. I gotta say though that I am worried about the lane of this Spectre up against the Viper here. Especially with the Disruptor next to you, you can't really do anything apart from, stop him from walking at you, but you're always going to take a ton of damage. As soon as this level 3 comes out, especially with the Mars next to him, this Viper has some serious kill potential.
There's going to be a lot of kill potential here. I'm looking at LW, and I think he needs to make sure this Viper loses a lot of mana before that level 3. If it comes out, and the Viper is like full mana, still has his mangoes, it's going to be a disaster. So LW, at least he's keeping Hong away, and MKS will be happy to get a couple of those kills. That's 6 mangoes, so under the tower, he's regening 9 HP per second.
Yeah, Mango Gaming is absolutely the play for Spectre. I love it. Like, he still has mangoes up in his quick buy as well. Let's go. Oppa, buy another one.
Yeah, fed tangos by LW, bringing out mangoes. MKS is dead.
He is. Level 3? What level 3?
Yeah, level 1 is gonna be good enough, I guess. Does take some damage on the Viper. Creeps in the end get the kill, so it's not really gonna be a classic first blood, but still it's quite nice. Bottom lane, the Drow is getting pressured already in this lane. That is kind of unexpected.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive by Salad being able to find the angles on this Drow, because normally, again, this is a range versus range matchup. The Drow far enough back to not have to worry too much about the nukes coming out from Xiaoyu. And you have the Rubik to shove back the wave with so that you won't get dove under tower early on. But with the Ricky being this much of a nuisance, yeah, he's going to pull the wave here as well. So putting the Drow and the Rubik under tower for another round, that is maximum annoyance.
Yeah, Drow doesn't like last hitting under the tower. Toy is gonna do a decent job. How do you feel about, you know, Ice Rock changing so that the range creep dies from 3 hits plus 1 hit from from anything? Did you like it previously when you kind of had to drop down maybe the Quelling Blade, then pick it back up, and so that's the way you get the range creep? Was that something you liked, or you think it was unnecessary?
I kind of like that. It's one of those, you know, legacy quirks of the game that really reward the tiny little bits of expertise that you have, and I don't see what it adds to the game to remove that, right? Like, where's the win? Which players are going to like feel a lot better now that that's happened? I don't know.
Maybe he was just nerfing Arteezy. Because Arteezy was always so good at last hitting under the tower when he hasn't had much success. I have to say, these Southeast Asia mid laners, they don't know how to play the DK, man. Why don't they take a point in the Dragon Tail? It's just that good of a spell, and now he's losing the lane because of it.
Yeah, it is so good. The stun duration is good, the damage is good, you get several slaps in, you get the secure hits. There's absolutely, it takes the point now, but it's a bit late for that, isn't it?
Salad did go towards the top lane. RDP standing his ground. Let's go, Salad. You came to my lane. And actually, with the lifesteal RDP, he's surviving the Spectre. Not really the strongest of hero. RDP is out. MKS. He wants to get that heal in, but he can't do it. RDP stands his ground, crushes EHOME. 5-0, 2-0-2 for RDP. Beautiful laning start here for Reaper.
That is insane. Sure, like, that top lane was always going to suffer first Viper. It is what it is. But how in the blazes did they also lose 2 heroes for nothing on the bottom side? That must have just been a very ill-advised go on Toy. Because the Rubik hasn't been hurt at all either.
Yeah, I guess... Or they lost 1 hero. Just Zhao Yu was left alone, and the Riki went top to die with his team, I guess. Zhao Yu now getting gone on, gonna be turning around with the Spirit Siphon. Sending Toy back, who does have 4 stick charges, so should be able to survive the Riki. Riki doesn't really do all that much damage. Doesn't even have the tricks of the trade. Has to put down the smoke screen there. Just blowing smoke, actually, because nothing else that he can do here. The lanes, the side lanes for Reaper, they're going amazingly.
Yeah, they're going way better than I thought they would, and now you're relying on this Tiny for EHOME to turn the end result of these lanes around, which is, you know, fair. Tiny can really do that, especially if you get to have a good power rune. Top goes again. They're really gunning for RDP here. Glimpsing him back under the tower.
Is he gonna die to the tower though? He stands his ground, is fighting, has the infused raindrops. They might kill Salad, but they will bring down RDP finally. Hong Hong though turns around onto the Spectre and MKS. He doesn't have anything left in the tank, neither does LW. So they're really ramping up the pace. Ever since the DK got his Dragon Tail in the lane, he has been crushing the Tiny. Like literally crushing him.
Yeah, look at those denies.
Yeah, it was 8 for the, or 7 for the Tiny and like 1 for the DK. Then he hits level 4, he gets the Dragon Tail, and look at the difference in just a couple of waves. We don't even recognize how the lane started any longer.
It's preposterous. The Riki is now coming in mid though. Salad is really doing everything he can in order to salvage these other lanes. And the Death Prophet, yeah, she should be fine here. So very much appreciate him going around, seeing what he can do, hoping to get this power rune secured for the Tiny. Is an arcane. That is not bad, but it's not the haste rune that you would have wanted, right? Oh, RDP.
Oh, I didn't know that the kinetic field worked out. RDP is actually gonna die. The only reason he dies and not LW first there is because the kinetic field prevents the Marcy from jumping in with the rebound. So the rebound will stop Toy getting dove in the bottom lane. He will be going down. Salad might pay with his life because of it, but he just gets level 3. So the tricks of the trade will be defending him. 2 more hits needed from Gondry. He's not going to be getting those. And with a couple of more seconds left on the cooldown and the Fade Bolt, it's not going to be easy. EHOME, they strike back, killing the Viper a couple of times. And now he has to take the long walk back towards the top lane. Deserved.
I mean, it's not like this lane is going to get much harder for him than it is right now. Like any time that the Spectre is on her own, you are going to have the advantage, and she is going to back off into the jungle ASAP, working on that blade mill, nearly there. I don't actually think we're going to see MKS in the lane after that.
Fearless, beautiful kinetic field keeps him into the tower, and he only has 2 points in the Dragon's Blood, meaning that the tower hurts. Ricky's TPing, and they have the glimpse. EHOME are starting to play Dota. Hong Hong thinks he can TP out next to the Tiny. Nobody, that's not possible. The Arcane Rune makes sure that he has another round of spells, and the mid lane tower will be taking a lot of damage, maybe even dropping down.
Yeah, and this is exactly that touch that I was talking about with the EHOME draft, where, you know, if you don't get that kill exactly when the exorcism comes in, and you don't bring Xiaoyu towards this mid lane when he has that, like, I don't think this one works out. You do need both of the supports there. You do need the Tiny to be full health there. But when it does work out, it looks really beautiful. And now that mid lane tower is down, in spite of that being a DK.
We do have 2 flying snakes on the top lane. You know, not something that you would want to fight. Though EHOME, they did go for a smoke. Where do they want to go?
They want toy.
Like little kids. Let's see though, toy is gonna be played with here, not in a way that he would like. He is not being spotted though, so he will be fine. He's the one protected by Vision and Tiny. Pops the invis. Gondry doesn't have his tower to protect him, has no idea that death is coming. It's gonna be swift, and it's gonna hurt you. Actually, not gonna be that swift. Has the raindrops, has the sticks. Glimpse is gonna be ready. 3 more charges there on the tree grab, and with the toss, they'll get the kill. Meanwhile, on the top lane, they do bring down the Spectre, so it's not like Reaper don't get anything in return, and they will put a little bit of pressure here on the top tier 2. So, well, nicely done for Reaper. Losing the Rubik there, you're gonna be more than happy.
Absolutely, and there's deep vision behind this tier 2 top now as well. The Spectre is very lucky that Xiaoyu has gotten a lot of time to bring down his bottom tower, because that means that now he can play a little bit on the other side of the map, actually dodge out the region where this Viper is going to be raining if he wants to. Returns to top for now though. I'm guessing that he feels okay as long as he can see where the DK is hanging out, but there is a Marcy making their way to top as well. Like, I do think you died to Marcy Viper as well.
I'm starting to regret my prediction here, because it's 9.5 minutes into the game and Reaper are not winning. They are not winning. They're not winning hard, which would be needed, because that 15-minute mark is coming, and the Ricky, he is preparing that new weapon of his. In just 5 minutes, he's going to have the sleeping dart, and then everything changes.
Yep, absolutely, and it's not like they don't have any follow-up for him either. The Tiny has completely recovered from his lane. Feeling really good about himself right about now. And the Spectre, Mango Gaming.
Yep, he's gonna have mana all the time. Disruptor, they might have some mana left, but HP, that's a completely other story. Again, he's gonna be hunted down by Hong Kong, and this time around there is another flying reptile there to bring him down. Not the one that he's used to, but this time around he's gonna be dealing with the DK, so another kill for Reaper.
Yep. Xiaoyu actually dipping into the mid lane here as well, just making sure that the Tiny has the backup that he needs in order to actually take down this wave. Because, yeah, you would want to be pressuring that mid tower right now with this DK. Form, not gonna happen. Too late now.
Yeah, Static Storm is also at the ready. Ricky, not the one that gets the book, because he's gonna get the lane. On bottom, no one really wants to hunt the Ricky. Not the easiest kill. Not the big kill, like just something that you don't want to see. A smoke from EHOME just before the blink dagger of the Tiny. So where do they go? Who do they find? It seems like Marcy is right under vision.
MKS gotta feel a little nervous right now.
Well, RDP is gonna be feeling nervous in just a second. He wants to get that Aghanim Scepter, so he has the nose dive. But yeah, you can land on your nose right now as well. It's gonna be very, very hurtful. Death Prophet, man, the Viper was hitting on her all this time, and really the damage he did to her was very small. That Spirit Siphon is just unfair, the amount of HP it gives back.
Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, what was the math again? It's still stronger as long as your opponent doesn't have more than 1700 HP or something?
Yeah,
well,
16,
it
17,
still isn't there.
Yeah, not there. For sure. And Ricky? He's gonna see Hong Hong, so LW immediately goes there with the Thunder Strike. They see him. You might need to pop that Static Storm, but he says, nope. I might just call my Tiny to help me with this one, and that's gonna be another kill. Zhao Yu will be the one that lands the kill. And now, oh look, they stack the Ancients for us, so EHOME, they don't only have 5 players, they have someone stacking the enemy's Ancients for them, so they're gonna be quite happy that there is a agent on the other side.
Very grateful there. That is a very excellent use of the exorcism as well. Like, you don't want to be hurrying after more towers right now. Just do as much economic damage as possible. And, well, the time is ticking. DK has a Blink Dagger though. There is playmaking capability now on the side of Reapers, and they're going to go move with that immediately.
Let's go, Fearless. Leading the charge, living up to his name. He jumps in onto the Disruptor, but that just means that Tiny... Oh, that's going to be a nice jump from the Marcy onto the Tomb. The Avalanche from Tiny TPing out. Not going to be happening. The Stolen Avalanche on the Rubik as well. They've gotten down the Disruptor. They'll get the Tiny as well. Beautiful reveal on the Blink Dagger. That is a really big fight. And now the mid lane tower on the menu.
Yep, absolutely. No exorcism to defend this one with, no time to take down the waves, and of course the Riki is going to be absolutely nowhere near. I mean, he is near, but he should not be showing his face here. He has a timing to hit.
Good that he has a mask, so not gonna be easy to see his face anyways. Jump in from the Dragonite, hoping that someone was preparing for a defense of that tower. No one was there, and Reaper will get something going their way. But 3 cores of EHOME topping the network chart, and Fearless has been found. He might not be able to get out of this one. The supports have found him. There is gonna be a glimpse come into the hands of the Death Prophet, and she will prophesize. Guess what? A death for you, because Fearless, he's not getting out of this one alive.
She has a really easy job, doesn't she? Like, in Dota 2, that's basically the only thing that happens. Death.
No, there's also saves, friendship, holding hands with the Wisp, you know, soul binds. You know.
I guess I'm being negative again.
Yes, Dota is not about death and destruction for...
It's not simulated warfare, because I think a whole bunch of, you know, the old school captains have all been reading things like Seven Rings and the Art of War.
Are those captains still in the scene?
Don't think Eternal Envy is anything currently, no. But I wonder about Kuroki sometimes. I bet in his younger years he would have definitely been one of those guys.
Maybe. We'll have to ask him one day. Maybe he sees it that way. Smoke from EHOME, not gonna be finding anything. They were hoping that was gonna break next to the trees. Not gonna be happening. But now the night has come, and the Stealth Assassin will get a new deadly weapon that can keep his enemies in place, and it is gonna be delivered right now. The Aghanim Shard for the Riki is done. Kips, have Reaper accumulated enough of gold resources levels to be able to stand against this timing?
They are in a decent position. They have got themselves some space on the map. They have got themselves counter-initiate possibilities. The Drow Ranger is currently flying in her own escape mechanism as well. The Force Staff is in place, so they have counterplay options here, but a slam dunk it is not.
You have to explain something to me. No ulti on the Viper. What's up with that?
Wait, are you going to hold me responsible for the fact that he...
No. I just didn't know what the hell, why did you do that. Zhao Yu is still surviving with the Spirit Siphon. He has been broken, but the Exorcism is out. MKS coming in. But do you want to be here? Yes, I do. They finish off the DP, and the Toy gets himself found for a second because the glimpse is there. A stolen Thunder Strike. That is not a good spell, but MKS now he is in a world of hurt, burning until death, and Tiny is dying to the Viper. Avatar's combo is going to be amazing, but in the end, his life is still going to be taken, and it is going to be Reaper who take the fight. EHOME, they thought they could do something about this one, and Fearless, he's not done just yet. There is a few more people to eat up, to gobble up for this Dragonite, and it is gonna be LW, the 4th casualty for EHOME.
And once the Death Prophet is down, that lack of damage really shows itself there. They have to commit all of their spells on the Drow just to get her down, and that means that both his DK and his Viper just get to slap everybody down slowly but surely.
Boy, has the Hurricane Pike. He's going for a shard. Understandable. Against the Death Prophet is definitely gonna help. Also, pushing out the waves relatively safely is quite nice for the Drow. Does find the Philosopher's Stone, who is gonna be gaining the gold. It seems to be Gondry, so Rubik.
Yeah. As I want to make a statement about that, by the way. I think it's really dumb that everybody calls it the Philly when clearly it is the money ball.
It's a Philosopher's Stone. I would be okay with people calling it the Sorcerer's Stone, because you know in Harry Potter they changed it from Philosophers to Sorcerers. But anything other than that I shall not accept. And Toy.
Oh wow.
Toy accepts a second life, so next time that he gets caught off guard, he is still gonna be coming back up to life. And Hong Kong, well, let's see what
He's gonna be coming back.
Yep, after 32 seconds exactly.
Sometimes you can see these disruptors really counting, like 1, 2, 3, click. And just stand there while they're doing it too. It's very, I don't know. Does I play disruptor the same? But he's not gonna stand here much longer now.
LW, the Drow does get slept. This is the big thing that we haven't talked about. This is 2 range cores with the Drow. So the added agility, the added attack speed, both the DK and the Viper benefit from it quite heavily. Like imagine if this DK gets to that like Manta and the Aghanim Scepter. With the Drow Ranger in the team, he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely, the extra stats that you get from this, and especially considering that once again we're not looking at a magic nuking lineup from EHOME here whatsoever. Like most of their damage is physical. It's really only the Tiny that provides the burst, and right now his burst is limited.
Not looking the greatest. He does have the Echo Saber though. Let's see, Toy gets himself to the high ground. No vision there from EHOME to get the glimpse off. But seems like they're preparing for an engagement. Spectre just got her ulti, has the Shadow Step. So with the Aghanims can join the fight if he wants to.
Yep, and now you can always point it at the Drow if you so desire. But yeah, that damage is a problem, especially with the Disruptor. Like the Static Storm adds a lot of that, but they only have 1 ult and Toy has 2 lives.
That is true, and he's gonna have 2 lives for the next 3 minutes. EHOME, they're doing a good job making sure that Reaper are not increasing their lead.
Yep, the way that they're splitting the map right now, the way that they're scouting as much as possible while not actually getting caught is pretty impressive, but it is also a little bit, it's very fraught. Like we were talking about, do they have enough right now on Reaper to stop off this Ricky timing? And yes, actually, they're occupying the enemy side of the map. They're constantly together, makes it very hard for the Ricky plus Tiny to find any engagements whatsoever. And you sacrificed a lot in the laning stage to get this Ricky through. How is that going to pay off for you now?
Ricky just dodged the Dragon Tail, so he does force Reaper towards the top lane and they still can't kill him, so he gets himself out. Shadow Step has been used, Viper has been caught, he needs help. Marcy jumps into the back lines, goes for the Unleash, but he's just gonna be tossed back. So many repositioning tools. Hong Kong is still alive, not for long. It is gonna be the real haunt now that comes in. Spectre coming for you. Actually, it's gonna be the Tiny, and they get the glimpse onto the Drow. The Drow is gonna be needing some help, or it might be our enemies that need some help. No, with being surrounded by so many heroes, it's a disaster, and you're gonna be coming back to life inside of a smoke screen. Has the Force Staff to the side, immediately slept. No one cares about the Gust. They just stand their ground and get the kill. DK, he was doing some job on the tier 2 on the top lane, but not even that. Falls, and Knight, he guesses right where the DK was, just not in time.
Yep, and this fight wasn't even about getting on top of the Drow. As it turns out, you take down that Viper there with the Drow being stuck on the low ground, and you can peel the fight apart from there as long as you just have that exorcism going. Very important for Xiaoyu to be alive during these fights. And he does have the Heaven's Halberd now, which is a huge pickup in this game, both versus the Viper as well as the Drow. That's going to be the damage dealers. Later on, Marcy, perhaps.
Against everyone. I mean, all 3 of the cores, if you disarm them, that's 5 seconds that they're not doing anything. Drow can with a multi-shot. Tiny is preparing for a jump. He was spotted? What? the Dragon Knight saw him there for a second, and Knight is just gonna be giving his life away. No way that someone is gonna help him. Okay, interesting angle there from the DK.
A very good punish on the overstay from EHOME. And that has been the story of this game, I think, where every time we think, all right, EHOME has successfully, you know, finessed their way out of a hard situation, they sort of sit back and they're like, okay, yeah, that was good, wasn't it? We fixed the problem now. Reaper is not yet.
Yeah. Toy is working towards his BKB. Viper has had his ag, so the noise dive is there. Nose dive is there. It's not really making too much noise with that one, like a snake, like I don't know if that is even heard on the mic, but who the hell cares. Reaper are gonna be taking down some vision here, so that is nice, and the tier 2 should fall in the top lane. Really, I don't see EHOME defending this one.
Absolutely not. Small sliver of HP left. And yeah, that nosedive is interesting, isn't it? Because you get a huge attack speed slow out of it. It adds a bunch more AoE to a hero that historically has very little in the way of AoE whatsoever. But I could think about like better lineups to buy this against, and I would actually have been interested in just him having a BKB for purely personal survival.
Yeah, like Dragonlance, BKB, Manta, I wouldn't hate it. But let's see, jump in from Fearless. He wants to find LW, will be silenced up as the BKB. The glimpse is not gonna work. And the fire, everything burns. And LW burns with the map itself. Tiny, Avalanche gonna be used. Ricky has been caught as well. Heal will be going down. The supports of EHOME are not part of the map any longer. And the Marcy jumps in. Oh, she can lift up mountains. That's how strong this girl is. But the buybacks are coming through. They want to save Knight right now. There's gonna be a lot of arrows going towards him. He's gonna be fine with the extra armor for the ulti. He's gonna be okay. MKS goes in. Spectre isn't that strong. Static Storm is gonna be used onto the Drow Ranger. Just has nowhere to go. And now a bonus. He's gonna be getting the Viper into that one. But Hong Kong jumps in, gets the stun. And everyone is inside of the Nether Stalks. And the Spectre has been broken. Needs to get out. Spirit Siphon! Spirit Siphon! Give me your Spirit Dragonite! The Spirit of the Dragon is not something to be taken lightly. And the fifth one will fall. 2 buybacks of EHOME. Land them a team wipe without losing a single core.
Death Prophet is such a balanced hero, man. Like, that was a beautiful re-engage from Hong Kong. They said, right, well, EHOME's clearly not going to expect us going back in here after we lose the Drow, but they still have a bunch of damage dealers. They still have that Viper alive. They still have the DK at already. The BKBs are over, though, and that means that Xiao Yu with the Spirit Siphons absolutely reigns supreme. That was rough.
I think
he was so close.
They should add some burst damage to the Death Prophet because she's really lacking in that department. She only kills everyone, does the most damage, doesn't die. It is not fair. Spectre comes in. Drow Ranger has been baited again. The Spirit Siphons, you got hurt by those the last time. You know this hero can very hardly die, and Xiao Yu goes for a TP out. It seems like just one Shadow Step is gonna be enough to keep back Reaper, and EHOME, they get out scot-free.
Worthwhile attempt from Reaper there, though. Like, clearly they are recognizing that it's impossible to fight into the exorcism, so anytime that EHOME oversteps after winning a fight with that exorcism, you should be punishing them, and that was a really solid attempt. Just risky to throw Toy into the fray like that. Risky.
Still trying there. They understand hypothermia is the way that you deal with the Death Prophet salad.
Yep.
In an aggressive position here. Not sure what he's trying to do. He's trying to kill the Drow, and yeah, Toy is looking very much dead. They position 5 Ricky will bring him down. That's gonna be it for them. So Reaper, they lose their carry yet again.
Very unfortunate. Like, this is a hard position to be in because now you're finally in the clutches of the Ricky, where you are behind. You want to split up the farm, get those items out, get that BKB on the Drow Ranger ready, and you want to just peacefully sit in the lane to do that while your team makes space elsewhere. But with the amount of vision and the amount of distance that EHOME can cross in a short time, you don't actually get that space at all. You will have to keep on holding hands, or you will have to have at least one support with you to, you know, throw into the fray and die for you instead, because you will get picked off.
So, EHOME, they're 5k gold ahead. They're going into the Roche. This is the second Roche. There's gonna be a shard as well. Given probably to the Tiny, though I wouldn't hate if the Death Prophet got it either. Well, let's see with the Spectre. The Roche stands no chance. The pure damage will cut him down, and it is gonna be an Aegis into the hands of MKS. Knight now also has a BKB, so oh, they leave the shard. We don't need it. Okay, Knight says I actually do.
He does, yes, and that's a significant damage upgrade for him. He's going to be going into the Shadow Blade now next after having split up his Echo Saber to build a BKB.
Okay. So Spectre, her TP has finished. I literally heard the sound, but she's still not here. It says 0.1 second until the Spectre arrives. Has the Haunt, has the Shadow Step. Fearless is gonna need to get out of here fast because EHOME are coming for them.
Yeah, but this is as much of a rainbow of TPs. Oh. Well, you're lucky that this is not the DPC.
Yeah. Very lucky. So we don't have the cameras on players. You are allowed to go to the bathroom, but I guess rules are rules. I'm gonna stay in defense here. That was written in the rules.
And let's face it, players should not actually be pausing for the bathroom either. Like, can you imagine that you're on stage at TI and you just pause, take your headset off, walk out of the booth. Like, there's 10K people just sitting there in the stadium watching you walk off stage.
What if, let's say, there's an energy drink, a water that is sponsoring you, and they require you to drink a lot of it on stage when people can see you? What then?
What then? I don't think that actually happens. Like, the have you seen that alu clip? Like, is this just for the commercials when he's pointing at the energy drink on his table? He's actually surprised that there is actual energy drink in that can and not just water. It's they never drink it ever.
Okay. That's something I didn't know, but we are gonna be needing another 2 minutes. Sorry, 2 minutes go.
Maybe he's playing on his Steam Deck right now.
Oh, they jump in onto the Spectre. That is a hero with an Aegis, but they do break the Spectre and bring her down. Nether Toxin, they're definitely doing a lot.
Chase.
Yeah, now the chase is on. RDP, BKB, goodbye. Anyone else who's gonna be caught? Fearless hiding in the trees, waiting for the blink or waiting for the TP. I don't know what he's waiting for, just to get the hell out of there. Hong. He's not gonna take that suggestion. And Fearless.
Yeah, BKB, TP, kills the wave. That is this is the first time that they've managed to properly waste the exorcism over on Xiaoyu. Like, he is here, he wants to touch this bottom tower, but he has no creep wave for another minute almost. So yeah, that exorcism is completely over. It has been wasted, and the price was just a Marcy. That was some super smart map play.
9-second BKB on the Viper, 8-second BKB on the DK. That
Yes.
those are things that can hurt you, and your Drow dying. That's
Okay,
also
yeah, that hurts you right now. Yeah.
EHOME are
that
faster.
does. Yeah. EHOME just have this really good read of where this Drow would want to be. Like, and against any other lineup that would work too, right? It's like, okay, we just got all of them towards the bottom lane, but no, they're already crossing the map right here. They're catching 2 of your heroes.
And there's no BKBs. They just used their Fearless. It's like, why did I kill that wave? Why did I do it? The Viper, he at least went for a TP out in front of all of his enemies, so you could have some kind of a argument for his usage, but now it's just a disaster. 2 of the heroes inside of the Static Storm just getting slaughtered. All 3 of the cores of Reaper after a successful pull out from the bottom lane get hunted down.
And this is just the difference between like a team that makes good calls from time to time and a team that's sharp all the time. There goes Hong. Very unfortunate, because yeah, sure, the rhythm of the game up until now has been, once the exorcism is out, you lose a team fight over on Reaper. No, not anymore, please, no more death.
Oh, Knight does pop the BKB. He's gonna be fine for now. Reaper with only 2 heroes, they can't do much. Maybe they can cancel the blink. No. Their heroes will not spawn before that one, and Knight is out. Nice lift from the Rubik. If the Drow gets tossed back and you lose the Drow, then a complete disaster turns into it's time to GG out, because we've just been tilted how much they crushed us in the past 5 minutes or 2 minutes, or I don't know. EHOME just outplayed them there after the bottom lane, and they're continuing to do so.
Yep. And do want to commend Gondry here for going for the telekinesis save. By the way, no greed from him.
Yeah, does have the shard, does have the Guardian Greaves as well. So now it's going to be a smoke from Reaper. They're coming forward. Still, the Haunt is going to be in 40 seconds. The Shadow Step is pretty much always up. And Exorcism is up. That is the big spell. Zhao, you know BKB has the Lotus Orb. Not the easiest hero to bring down. Look at that armor. What is that? 46?
Yeah, casual. Casual 46 armor, which is roughly... triples your HP versus physical damage. Like, you're looking at increments of 16. Slowly.
Yeah,
and Death Prophet really likes it when you try to kill him. So not Toy of all the heroes.
Zhao Yu going forward, and he doesn't seem like someone who can die. The Rubik will be sleeping on the job, and Toy has been gone on. The noise die from the Viper. Immediate Manta removes the disarm, and that's gonna be the next one. Viper is feared, goes for a TP out. The bash is about to come. No, MKS says, I'm gonna save that for later, because you are dead. Fearless doesn't pop the BKB. He wants to die as well, and no problem. The killing crew is coming over. Fearless pops the BKB. He stuns the Spectre, goes for a TP out. That's a really good stun, but the damage from the Tiny is insane with the DD. Look at that, 700 damage per hit, Kips, and he even gets a crit to finish it off.
Yeah, just to really put you under the ground, and they just don't have enough to save Toy anymore. At this point, the Basher is up on the Spectre, and your end is nigh.
The end is near. That is.
And I can't help but wonder what would have happened this game if we do not get a nosedive on the Viper. Have you seen it do anything yet? Just
it forced out the Manta on the Spectre just now.
Yeah, but forced reactions, those are good, right?
I don't know.
Can you imagine he buys that BKB just straight up?
Maybe would have been better. Now he's gonna be slept. He does get a sidekick. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Your lifesteal, it might have been good in the laning phase. Not so good now. These two, they were bullying the Spectre, but now it's gonna be the other way around. Everything is burning, but the ones that are using the fire are on the receiving end. They do bring down the Ricky, so that's nice. The last time that he died, he did buy back. So it's gonna be a lot of time before the Ricky actually is back on the map. A chance for Reaper?
I don't think so. They did not expect this go.
Toy. Bad, the crit is there. Toy is fine. Does cost him an 8-second BKB, but he survives.
Yep, but it wastes a lot of this window that the Ricky is not available. Because as you said, they are like, okay, the Ricky is dead. We can make a play here. And EHOME's just like, nah, not after we, take that top tower anyway and waste some more of your time here just because you're over-eager to get out.
Oh, the Spectre has a Skadi. This is nasty. This Spectre, I don't know. If the Viper is dead, MKS kills the whole enemy team all on his own. And, there's still 4 other heroes on his side.
Yep. It's really just all about getting the Nether Toxin and getting the Spectre to stay in a Nether Toxin. But it has been EHOME creating these engagements time and time again. And that means that the Spectre gets to choose where the fight is, not the Viper.
So Dragonite is gonna have an Aghanims in 80 gold, so that is big. The big black dragon is gonna be in the fight fairly soon. Roche, speaking of big dragons, is gonna be in a spit in 50 seconds, or between 50 seconds and 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Any predictions on how long we wait for the next Roche?
Because Reaper has been just getting their faces bashed in time and time again. It's going to be a late Roche spawn, and LW will have his Aghanims.
Okay. Let's see if
I mean, that's a bit too positive. He doesn't actually have enough gold to make it there just yet, but
I saw the Shadow Blade being picked up. Did the Tiny sell it? Like, who bought the Shadow Blade? Or am I just going crazy? We're going with
you
the
just-
latter.
No. I mean, maybe for the wrong team. Did you
Oh,
see the drow?
drow. Yeah,
Yeah?
drow. Man, no. Yeah, I'm not going crazy. I just saw the item on the side, and then how it removes after Dota, and it is gonna be a long Roche. Okay, your assessment
Well-
makes sense. Now I'm gonna believe that you actually know when the Roche will spawn, and it's not completely random.
Yeah. 2 makes a pattern, right? Like humans. You can draw a line through 2 points. That means it's a graph now.
The win probability, speaking of graphs, is very small for Reaper. Currently 3%. So, 1 every 33 games out of this can be a victory for Reaper, which is very low, considering that Dota Plus does take into account pub games, and this is a competitive one, so it's very unlikely that they're getting it back.
I mean, I think it's a fair assessment. Like, you're still up against 3 range cores going up a high ground EHOME, especially if for some reason they don't get enough out of an exorcism and they need to dive. Like, there are probably scenarios where they lose the resulting fight. But yeah, by the way, LW, like, you're not going to get to that Aghanim Scepter if you're just going to be a ward in the pit. Like, I know this is a very important job to be doing, but
What do you mean? He's not gonna die. The passive gold will give him the item.
yeah, eventually. The Roche is not spawning that late, though.
You cannot put the courier, so you put your position 5. That is the thing. And next patch, position 5 heroes do not grant vision in the Roche pit.
They're just gonna put their pos 4s there. You know, Dota players.
Key is scouting them. They don't see it. Actually, Salad goes in, but he did drop the smoke screen, so it seems like he's gonna be surviving through this. Salad gets forced staffed out. He's dead. Okay, TP out, not gonna be happening. The Hex gonna be coming out from Zhao Yu, and the Dragon Knight without the BKB has no chance of survival. Dragon Knight dead. Drow Ranger will survive, but again, a cost bigger for Reaper.
A bigger for Reaper, but I guess you get a tiny bit of space out of it. I mean, EHOME, it's like they're magnetized towards the Roche pit. Like, look at how they're just sweeping back in. You're really not getting a lot of time out of it. But I guess it was a cute play. Like, they definitely baited out the Drow with realizing that the marksmanship was off, I think.
Now this Roche is gonna die super fast. They have been pulled into the pit there, and it is gonna be going down. Their position 5 wasn't working properly, was like TPing to the bottom lane or something instead of just staying in the pit, but it doesn't matter. They still get the Aegis. Is it gonna be a Aghanims or a refresher? I didn't see. Like Ags, Tiny got it.
Yes. You know what I really want to see? I want to see an Ags Tiny with the Revenant's Brooch. And a crit, ideally. Have you ever seen how much damage it deals?
No, I've seen how much it deals with the crit, but I haven't seen Revenant's Bruce, and I know that item just deals a silly amount of damage when you activate it. So yeah, it would be fun. Did you like try it out in a lobby or something?
Yes. So I was theory crafting a bunch about the way that magical damage and physical damage scale, and the thing is that you can buy a lot of aura items for armor, you get a lot of magic resistance out of your stats increasing, but in the end, magic damage is actually the ultimate late game damage, just because you always have flat 30% of magic damage resistance, and nothing you do increases that unless you specifically buy items for it.
Going on to the Drow, Hex, goodbye Piggy, and 75 seconds on the sidelines. Well, that's your damage dealer, the main one, RDP. Gets static stormed. Aghanims on the Disruptor was up, but the BKB of the Viper did come out in time. Trees are flying in. Hong Kong pops the BKB, pops the Unleashed, and now the dynamic duo of the Dragon Knight and the Marcy going in, and they're gonna be doing absolutely nothing because the Tiny turns around and slaps them with a tree. Here comes the Avalanche as well. That is gonna be a Dragon Knight pulled back, turned into a Piggy. Hextab, he can't do much. Gondry going left and right, playing with the Haunt, but the Spectre, he knows the shadows well. We'll be finding the Rubik in the end. The GG hasn't been called, but let's be honest, this game, it is over.
Absolutely. And that was really the only thing that EHOME still needed to do, was find the correct jump to get on top of all of these range scores. And Toy, once again, I don't want to say offered himself up, but that was definitely overly positive positioning for a hero that currently, well, now has a buyback, but did not have a buyback at the moment of the fight. Like, maybe you do something there, if you offer up your drow, they over-engage, you come back in, but certainly not like this.
There is this honor in Southeast Asia that prevents you from calling GG, and they jump in with the Dragon Tail stun, and MKS doesn't care. He's gonna be broken, but still has the egg, so even if he dies, it's not gonna be a problem. Viper without the BKB just isn't any kind of trouble. He has been disarmed as well. They're going for the Drow Ranger, and Toy is dead. Hong Hong will not follow suit, jumps into the fountain. The Static Storm only onto the Dragonite, but he is on the high ground, and he cannot get lower. Hong Hong will be pulled back at the well. Good jump there. Not going to be working too well against the Disruptor. And the jump in onto the Spectre again. Can they break down this Aegis? Not before the throne falls. And it is going to be EHOME that get the victory in game number 1. Reaper still staying in the tournament without a single game victory.
Yep, but at least they showed some interesting plays up versus EHOME here. Like, clearly Reaper, or at least somebody on Reaper, knows what needs to happen in these moments. But they just relax too much in between them, right? They're like, okay, we did that. We made our play. Good job, everybody. Now we can, resume playing as normal again, which is just sitting back and, not being respectful of the fact that EHOME are just going to punch you right back in the face. And yeah, they got slapped around a bunch here on Reaper.
Yeah, for sure.
That's for sure.
I mean, even with that beautiful laning phase, start with the Viper, no Ricky coming in, you getting 3 kills, surviving, everything going your way as planned in the first 5 minutes. It still didn't change much. 10 minutes into the game, the Spectre was 400 gold behind the Viper. That is not that big of a deal. And I mean, I have to say, this Death Prophet, those heals in that fight, if the Death Prophet dies, we might be looking at a different game, Kips.
We might indeed, but in general, I completely agree with you. Like, Xiaoyu, from that first rotation into the mid lane where they choose to slow down Reaper's game, where they choose to immediately make that space and collapse with everybody onto that ultimate, I was like, okay, I don't actually think EHOME knows how to lose this, because they're going to be holding on to this Death Prophet, and this Death Prophet is going to carry the game for them.
Last time we casted Reaper, we thought that Reaper were gonna break the curse and get the first victory, but it was the other team that had all of the draws that actually got a 2-0 against them. EHOME, they have all of the draws in our tournament, and they're looking to break this curse, and with the performance of game number 1, looking very good to do it. So guys, stay with us. Game number 2 of Reaper versus EHOME is coming up after a short break.